All right, so June 5th every year is designated as World Environment Day. And to do a prelude to that, we want to reflect on our oceans and, of course, how it is doing, especially as relates to pollution. So this morning, we are tackling marine pollution as a path to sustainable oceans in Nigeria. And joining me on the phone line this morning, I have Miss Maryann Okeke. She's a water pollution analyst, and of course, she's currently the principal manager environment for the Nigerian Ports Authority. Madam, nice to have you join us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And
Thank you for having me here today.
Wonderful. It's been quite a while. We actually had a conversation with you. So how are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Very, very good too. So by way of definition, let's just jump into the focus this morning. Water pollution, how would you define it? And how does it relate to marine environment?
As the word goes, water pollution. Anything that will cause the deleterious use of the water is pollution.
Okay.
Anything that removes the water from its quality is pollution. Like plastic, like oil, like sewage. Anything at all that will remove the quality of water becomes pollution of the water.
So when you look around, Nigeria is blessed with lots of water bodies, and we have lots of water resources, especially if you bring it home right here to Lagos. How we assess the marine environment in terms of pollution?
When the marine environment is in Lagos is, of course, is extensive, and we have beautiful beaches. We have very beautiful creeks. Yes, some of the creeks have been, anthropogenically tampered, human tampered.
Okay.
But some are still very raw and beautiful, in its natural state. However, the major pollution you will find in our water, like the Lagos Lagoon complex and the creeks emptying into this Lagos Lagoon, is floating debris. There's all sorts of floating debris that you find on our water.
All right.
Plastics, all sorts of, including sometimes if you are by the water edge, especially sometimes you will see human beings, floating.
Wow.
So there's all sorts of debris you will find
on the waterways.
Yes, by the waterways. Nigerian Ports Authority and Lagos State Environment have, in the past, collaborated to do water hyacinth removal, this debris, water pollution, clearing of debris.
We'll come to that.
Water.
Yeah, Mr. Okeke, we'll come to what you guys are doing as a kind of intervention. But I'm still looking at the assessment. So you've done an assessment for the water bodies and the water that we have around Lagos. Let's extend that to other parts of the country. There's lots of water in Delta, in Port Harcourt, in Akwa Ibom, and even areas like Cross River. What's the assessment in those areas? Are they also polluted as well? Yes,
the major pollutions we have in Nigeria. When you talk about the Niger Delta, the major pollution we get, the two major pollution include oil spill and this debris, floating debris. Although when you go into a lot of the creeks, or sometimes when you go to one of the places I find very beautiful in Nigeria, is Warri.
Okay.
Just like Lagos, Warri, because of the amount of creeks they have, and these creeks are beautiful. The whole Delta State is a very beautiful state. So also is Lagos State, So, but what you'll find is, apart from the oil spill, is also this floating debris. You will find them by the shores, on the plants by the shores of the water. You find plastics. You will find wraps. You find like we call a nylon bag. You find different of it, hanging on the plants. Those are the major pollutions we find in our water.
Right. And looking through the global maritime space, Maryann or Okeke, and the water bodies that we have globally, is water pollution a real source of concern?
Of course, water pollution is a major source of concern. And it is a major source of concern because some of us, when we travel, we find that, like in the Western Hemisphere, they are taking very good care of their water. They clear their water. Because their solid waste management is very effective. You don't find this solid waste entering their water. However, when you come to Asia, precisely India and most Africa, you still find that we haven't been able to achieve that level of solid waste management. Therefore, we have this solid waste getting into our water. And let's look at, you see, when we're looking at these water bodies, let's look at it as a resource. You know, that's why Nigerian government created the blue economy, because of the vast resources that you can harness from the ocean. That is why this blue economy has been created by the Nigerian government. So when we see, you know, this term in Nigeria, water no get enemy, anything where you put there, go carry and come out. It's not new. But when we change our mindset and see water as an economy, as a resource, we will begin to think differently from how we are thinking today. Thank you.
So let's look at the perspective now and the perception of people. And I need you to also break it down for us. Why should we be concerned? You know, people see it as a natural resource, right? It has been provided by God. And I mean, it's just beyond me. I can throw anything into it and let it go. I mean, it should be self-cleansing. Can it cleanse itself?
That is the old and traditional idea that water no get enemy. When you throw anything in the water, it moves away. It's not true. A lot of these things have been lately. It has been found that a lot of plastics are in the bottom of the ocean. Recently, the Lagos state government have banned the use of cellophane, this food packaging.
Right.
And by this July, it will come into the single-use, plastic single-use will come into space. Because when these things enter the water body, they don't degrade. It takes over 500 years to degrade. And apart from that, you'll find that the marine animals, they eat them. Birds and the fishes, they eat them. And when they eat them, it reduces the amount of animals we have. That's the fish resources. It reduces them. And if the birds are dying, for the ecosystem to be sustained, we need a complete functioning of the ecosystem. When one part of the biodiversity is reduced due to pollution from plastic or any other pollutant that is in the water, it affects the full functioning of the ecosystem. And for we to get the full resources like fisheries, and when we talk about fisheries, in Nigeria, we eat a lot of periwinkles, we eat crabs, we eat fish. They make up part of the fisheries. And if the birds eat plastic and they die, they can't produce. For the ecosystem to be complete, we need the birds to be there. And we also see that because of pollution like oil, the mangroves, they die from it. Because for the fishery beds, the mangrove swamp, they make up the beds for these fisheries, like the benthic macrofaunas, like these periwinkles and crabs. They need the mangrove floors to survive, because they are filter feeders, they are bottom feeders, and the mangrove this thing creates the place for their juveniles to grow. That's why when you go to mangroves, you see little fishes floating there. You will see periwinkles, you will see crabs All of them are there. But when we have pollution, you will not find them. That is, and then you will also not find some kind of other kinds of macro animals that
would
live in this water that makes the ecosystem complete.
Very, very rich. All right, so I'm looking through now. Apart from those ones that you've mentioned that could cause water pollution, apart from the human activities, those that throw waste, those that use plastic bottles and then throw them on those water bodies, what about the ships? What about the ocean-going vessels? Don't they pollute the waterways as well?
Yes, the ocean-going vessels actually. You see, there's because of the impact of the ocean-going vessels on the ocean, on the marine environment. International Maritime Organization have formed a lot of conventions to guide the activities of the sea-going vessels, like the MAPOL, Annexes 1 to 6.
Okay.
They guide the activities of the ship. There is also the Basel Convention, as you very well know. Through the ship, because of what happened in cocoa, there are transboundary goods that move, like toxic waste that are dumped in the countries. Yes, it is a major decision, but there's Basel Convention to manage that particular kind of pollution. That's the toxic movement of transboundary toxic goods from one country to the other. And the MAPO also to manage the movement of ships. Yes, ships through the ships through when the ships take a very heavy bunker like low pulp fuel oil.
Right.
When they are moving, they release the greenhouse gases, which affects, as you all know, ozone layer. 2, if the ship is within the country water and releases things like their sewage or throw plastics, that is why Nigerian Ports Authority we have what we call a PFN, where we collect the waste.
Right.
Nigerian Ports Authority actually working under the MAPOL 73-78 Convention, Annexes 1 to 6. We collect the waste from ship. We collect both the solid waste and the liquid waste, like sludge.
All right. Just a second.
We collect it and we treat it.
Right.
So you find that, there are conventions to manage seagoing vessels so that to minimize their pollution on water. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. And you also know that ships carry invasive species through ballast water.
Right.
That is why there's also ballast water management.
All right, then. Just a second. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're tackling marine pollution as a path to sustainable oceans in Nigeria. And if you're wondering who's been speaking since for some time now, Miss Maryann Okeke is a water pollution analyst. She's also the principal manager environment for the Nigerian Ports Authority. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we'll be looking at the economic impacts of water pollution, especially in Nigeria. What are the economic impacts of all of this? And then we'll also be looking at the effects of water pollution to the maritime industry and what is NPA doing in that regard to also ensure that our waterways can be much cleaner than it is right now. These are many more we'll be reflecting on, but a brief break, we'll be back.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Lekki Ajah Corridor, very busy moving traffic is being experienced from Chevron Toll Plaza all the way down to Jakonde. This is due to a series of alternation delays along that particular corridor. And then we have some failed portions of the road. We have traffic managers that are well positioned doing the needful within that particular end. So take note of that. Those of you that are driving through that end, you have it slow within the Lekki Ajah Corridor. I see her with me, Maryann Okeke. And of course, she is the principal manager environment for the Nigerian Ports Authority. And this morning, we're trying to see how we can tackle water pollution as a sustainable way of making our oceans sustainable and, of course, much more usable as the way it is. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So, what is NPA doing to sanitize our waterways, madam?
Hello, I'm not here.
Yes,
on behalf of Nigerian Ports Authority.
That's true.
Because if I'm to speak on behalf of Nigerian Ports Authority, I will need to get
yes, I understand. Yes, but
from my this thing.
That's right.
However, having stated that caveat, I want to say that Nigerian Ports Authority have collaborated with Lagos State Ministry of Environment to clear the water bodies. Every year, we carry out removal of water hyacinth and other debris from floating debris on our water bodies. That's one of the things. We have also carried out sensitization of the surrounding villages around us on the impact of water pollution on their lives and their livelihoods.
And I need you to speak to that.
Look at, we have Ogogoro village and the rest bordering the ports. Also, like I said, we also carry out this marine pollution prevention by removing waste from ships through Annex 1 to 6, MAPOL 7378. And we also make sure that the toxic waste don't come through our ports, through Basel Convention, you know, so we try to, those are the things that Nigerian ports, and also we carry out, there are several industries that are around the ports. We carry out environmental awareness, and we collaborate with them to make sure that from cradle to grave, that their pollution, their waste is carried out, and it's often carried by LASMA. And we, we inspect them to make sure they don't have leakages, and we all work together to make sure that around our surroundings, that the water pollution are contained to the barest minimum. There's no how you can achieve 100%, but we do our best. Thank you.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM 08099120777. If you also want to add your voice to the conversation, feel free. We're talking on how we can make our water bodies much more sustainable, and we're trying to see how we can deal with water pollution. Tomorrow is World Environment Day, and we have a water pollution analyst who is very much with us, Maryann Okeke. That's her name. And we are continuing this. All right. A question here for you says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Okay, let's take this call. Hello there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right. What's your name?
My name is B.
B.
From Ogba.
Regular B from Ogba. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you, how come our waters, we don't have this clear blue waters like the developed countries? I've always wondered. Okay,
so the waters you see, they're not blue, right?
Yeah, they're not, like the sea, whatever. They are not as clear as the developed countries, where you see a clear blue water.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
So I want to know the reason for that, and if it is possible to ever get that kind of clear blue water.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, B.
Thank you.
All right, so Maryann, okay. I mean, he's wondering, how come our waters are not as blue as what they see probably in films and all of that?
Like when you go, like I said, when you travel out to the Western countries in particular, you'll find that their waters are very clear. And sometimes when you go to some of our creeks in the hinterland, the water is very clear. Like we are talking, this topic is about pollution,
right?
Water pollution, marine water pollution. It is because of this pollution we have a lot of sediments coming in through the drainage system from the municipal into our water, and like we know, a lot of market waste enter our water bodies because the solid waste management is not there. And like presently that the rains are falling, it's going to be washing it's going to be washing the waste straight into the water bodies. So there is no how that all this waste that are sediment based, that they are going to the water is going to be clear.
All right.
And another thing, the kind of waste like that is containing phosphorus and nitrogen, they don't make water clear.
So,
and that is
so is it possible? So what is asking now, is it possible for us to ever have a very clear blue kind of waterways?
Yes, we can have. I don't know what you mean, because the water that is blue is because of the reflection of the sky. Okay. We can have
very clear water.
Okay. Yes, when we manage our solid waste
very well.
That's one. Yes, when there is a proper management of effective waste management, like proper waste collection, recycling, disposal of waste in proper way to prevent them from, like entering our waterways.
All right, Maryann, Okeke, I have so many questions here for you. There's some people sending in questions here. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. What's the economic cost of polluted oceans to Nigeria? BC Balogun sending that one in. Another one here says,
economic cost.
Yeah, costs. It says, what is the economic cost? Let me get that. What is the economic cost of polluted oceans to Nigeria? BC Balogun sending that one in. Another one here says, good morning, Mr. Okeke. I've always wondered if sea pollution can affect our weather patterns. Lawrence from Ikotun is sending that one in. Another one here says, good morning, Victor. How big of a problem is open defecation in causing marine pollution in Nigeria? You didn't put your name. All right, so let's see if we can deal with these three quickly because we have very limited time.
Let's look at the economic cost of
ocean pollution.
Of pollution. One, the economic cost of pollution is biodiversity loss. When you lose biodiversity through pollution, it leads to decline or extinction of marine species. We were talking about the ecosystem. When you lose one group of the thing due to pollution, it balances the ecosystem. And for the resilience of our ecosystem, we need our biodiversity to be optimal.
All right.
So that is one of the costs, biodiversity loss.
All right.
Let's answer.
Yes, let's answer Lauren's question. It says weather pattern. It says does sea pollution affect weather patterns? Is that possible? Yes or no?
Pollution, like we are seeing, one of the reasons why the IMO in 2018 passed a law that the ships should start using better quality fuel for the running of ships, so that it can be reduced to the sulfur content of the ships can be reduced to 5% of every fuel, is because of the link that have been found that greenhouse gas. Why I'm linking the water pollution is because of the activities of the ship, of the ocean-going ship on the marine environment. So this, when it is a heavier fuel that is above this 0.5 that the IMO had passed in 2018, September 2018, into law, you find that the greenhouse gas that is emitted is higher. That's why now they are telling them to reduce to 0.5, and then even some countries have even, like in Europe, they've gone even lower to 2.5. I think IMO is also moving to pass a law that will bring it to 2.5.
All right, so quickly now. So open defecation, does it affect marine pollution?
Defecation, the truth of the matter is that open defecation have two effects. One, the unsightly, it makes our water the aesthetics of our water, because one of the things, when you look at our water as a resource and as a blue economy, there are boats for pleasure that go on our water. It doesn't look, it's unsightly to see poop moving on the water.
It's very, very unsightly.
Some people are carrying pathogens that will get into the water, like tapeworm and the rest.
We have to
and
go.
When the fishes eat it,
right,
we get it from them.
And that can lead to diseases.
Of pathogens can enter the water. Those are the disadvantages.
We have to
One
go.
of the advantages is that when fishes eat it, they become fatter.
Right.
It can make the fishes to be bigger. Right. That is the truth.
All right. We have to go, but unfortunately, we cannot conclude this conversation. But let me say a very big thank you to you for connecting with us at very, very short notice. Thank you so much for linking up with us this morning, madam.
Thank you very much.
All right. She is Maryann Okeke, water pollution analyst, and of course, the principal manager environment for the Nigerian Ports Authority. We have to go. The program has been produced by Dayo Anthony, and I say a very, very big thank you to those that have made this possible. Okpa Emishonuke and Remy Aloko, Marvelous Mbakwe, and Sophia Tajudeen in the building. And I also say a very big thank you to Rebecca Adamu, Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council. You can connect with them on all their platforms at NG Shippers. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.
From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your need.